We're back, everybody. We're back here. I'm in an undisclosed location. A place you've never seen me before. Uncharted waters, some may call it. I'm actually just down in Alabama. And yes, I just got finished, maybe about an hour ago, got finished training because during the holiday season, the reason I need to go train, I'm going to train anyway. But the big reason I need to go train is because I'm going to eat like a crazed animal on the holidays. So you got to find a way to balance that out. And I think, you know what? I'll go and make sure I work out, go train, and make sure that I am trying to balance out, maybe cancel out some of the calories and stuff that I'm eating, because I'm going to eat a bunch. And that's just how I roll. Excuse me. So that's what we're doing here. You have landed in pad level. And I'm very glad that you're here today with me. When I'm recording this, it is Monday, December 22nd. Yes, usually the reaction episodes come on Sunday. Folks, today it's on Monday. There's some travel, a lot of travel on Saturday, with the family on Sunday. I finally got me a few minutes here so we can talk about what's been going on here in the college football world. Now, you see me kind of moving around, swaying a little bit more than normal. I'll tell you why that is. It's because I'm standing up. I'm not sitting down like I usually am. I'm standing up. I'm trying to move freely. You know, if I like this, I may keep this going. I may have to kind of change the setup at the normal studio. But that's fine. If I like it, I like it. We're going to roll with it. So, you know, this is an awesome time of year for a lot of reasons. Okay? You've got, obviously, more relevant to this podcast, you've got bowl season. You got playoffs going on. I mean, you've got bowl games for FBS. You got the playoff that just started this past weekend. You've had playoffs going on for FCS, D2, and D3 for a few weeks now. D2 just crowned a national champion, which we'll get into. We did that on Saturday. D3 and FCS have figured out who's going to play in the national championship, and they're going to play on the 4th for Division III and the 5th for FCS. And then the college football playoff is moving into the quarterfinals. Okay? Well, I guess it's like 10 days from now. It's New Year's Day or whatever. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. There you go. So that's one big thing. It's Christmas time. All right? It's Christmas time. You're going to be with family. You know, it's the birth of Jesus Christ. It's a great time to be joyful. Have a great, you know, end to the year. You're going to be around the folks that you love most, I hope, and you get to be with them. I love this time of year. I always have. So what also Christmas means is you might be on the road a little more than usual, and that's okay, especially when you can tune into pad level while you're on the road. Some people might say, I don't have time to listen to these podcasts that go from 30 minutes to maybe 2 hours. When you're driving, you certainly do. You got nothing else to do but just sit there and drive. So this is a perfect time to just click pad level, set it over to the side, and just take in the info. And then, I'm not going to tell you to do this while you drive, but maybe when you stop to get gas, maybe when you got to get out, you got to take a leak, okay? Or if you got somebody in the car with you traveling, say, hey, darling, buddy, whoever it might be, I don't know who that is for you. Go on that page and hit that subscribe button, or hit the like button, or hit the follow button. It can be so simple. It takes you no time. It costs you zero money, $0. But it helps out the podcast, and it's only going to help us grow. So I ask that you do that at some point in your travels. I know you're going to do some. It may not be one long 4-hour trip, but maybe 30 minutes here, 30 minutes the next day. Maybe an hour total in one day. You can get a whole episode. You'll get this whole episode probably just in an hour. Okay? So, I appreciate you being here, and I'm excited to be here in a different location. Standing up, I'm doing a lot of stuff differently here. But you know what? It's because it's a great time of year. And maybe the best things, we try something new, and it works out great. But we'll find out as this thing goes on. So, thanks for being here. We're going to jump right into some of these games. And we're going to start with Division 3. Division 3 had their semifinals this weekend. And listen, if you've been following along, you know who was in those games. You had Johns Hopkins playing Wisconsin River Falls. You had John Carroll playing North Central. Now, here's the great thing about long drives. I don't love them that much. They can get pretty monotonous. They can get tiring. There's a lot of chances for things to happen as far as maybe have an accident or something like that. Hopefully, it doesn't, but there's a chance of it always. People drive crazy these days. I saw a lot of it a few days ago. The great thing about it, though, like I just mentioned, is you can connect that phone to Bluetooth. What car doesn't have Bluetooth nowadays? You connect that phone to Bluetooth, and you put on a game. I'm not saying watch it while you're driving. If you're in the passenger, it's wide open. You better watch. If you're driving, put it on the speakers, and you can just sit and listen, because what else are you going to do? I'm not saying don't talk to whoever's with you. I'm not saying you can talk and listen at the same time, right? You can do it, because we all know the football games that are on TV, they have way too many commercials. You got plenty of opportunities to talk during the game. It's during all these commercials that I don't understand why there are so many. I don't. I know there's money involved, and that's a whole other thing. And I might get into it because it's just been on my mind lately. But there's so much money involved. Everybody's greedy. Everybody wants the money. Okay? It's got to stop. That's another conversation. So, the great thing is I'm in the car about 8 hours, and we've got football on all day. We left around noon, probably a little before noon Eastern. So the game started at noon Eastern. So we got in the car, about 10 minutes later, boom, games are on and we're rolling. So we're watching at 12, Miami, Texas A&M. Holy crap. That was the only one on at 12. So that was you're pretty locked into that one by itself. You get to the midday window and there's some more, because you've got the CFP game, and you've also got D2 game, you've also got D3 game. So, anyways, D3 game at 12. We're going to go Johns Hopkins, Wisconsin River Falls. I cut this game on. It was towards the end of the first quarter. It's 14-14. Teams are scoring back and forth. And they kept doing that all game. And the final score was Wisconsin River Falls wins 48-41. It was a shootout. They're going back and forth the whole time. River Falls ends up winning the game by 7. The other game, that game was at 12. This game, John Carroll at North Central, which, as we know, North Central is the top dog in Division 3. John Carroll loses North Central 41-21. I didn't tune into this one as much. I was able to get some of it. North Central dominated. It wasn't even really as close as the score shows. All right, I mean, it was 28-0 at half. So John Carroll was kind of trying to scratch and claw to get back in it. I mean, what are you going to do, right? So North Central wins 41-21, which sets up the national championship matchup for Division 3 in Canton, Ohio, January 4th. North Central versus Wisconsin River Falls. And we'll talk about picks and things later in the week as we get closer to it. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It's at 7 p.m. It's on a Sunday night. January 4th, Sunday night, 7 p.m. ESPN. D3 on ESPN. They've made it when they get to the Natty. So good for them. And we will break that one down later. Now we'll jump into D2 real quick. One game, national championship game. Harding versus Ferris State. I told you, listen, it's two teams who can run the ball efficiently. One team's going to be triple option under center. The other team's going to be triple option tendencies. Now they're going to throw the ball around too. That's Ferris State. Harding is the triple option under center. And I was watching this game, listening to this game, and Harding goes down 14-0. They go score, make it 14-7. I'll say this. Ferris State could not be stopped offensively. Every time I looked up, remember when I was talking about Washington versus Boise State in the LA Bowl? It's like every time I looked up, Washington had the ball and they were getting ready to score. Boise State, it's like they didn't even exist on offense. It's almost that way with Harding's defense in this game. Ferris State, so at this point, this is at the middle window. I was going between this game and the FCS game, Montana State, and also the CFP game. So I was kind of going back and forth. I would see, Ferris State score, okay? I would switch to another, and then I would come back at Harding, boom, they're about to score right now. So then it's, 14-7 or 21-7, and then I would switch, and I would come back, and Ferris State already scored. Harding's got the ball again. Ferris State was scoring super quick. And they've been that way all year. They've scored like 50 points a game all year, and they scored 42, but only gave up 21 to Harding. They had a great plan for the triple option. And while Harding in the first half was somewhat staying with them, they were staying at least relevant. In the second half, Ferris State just took off. They took off, and like I said, every time I would turn back, Ferris State had scored again. And they're just really good. Their quarterback's got long hair. They got some great weapons. And their defense, obviously, was getting after Harding's triple option attack. So Ferris State wins it again. I don't know how many years they've won it, but they have won it a bunch recently. So the dominance is still there. Trinidad Chambliss leaves, doesn't matter. Ferris State's still who they are. And that means their culture's great. That means their program's great. That's just all there is to it. All right, so that's Division II. So Division II season's over. National Championship is done. FCS, we go Montana State at 4:30. I think it was 3:30, whatever, 4:30. Saturday. Brawl the Wild Part 2. In the semifinals, the winner goes to the national championship game. The first one was in Montana. Montana State won it. Now this one was in Bozeman. The first was at Missoula, Montana, which is where Montana, the Grizzlies are, and Montana State beat them on the road. This one's in Bozeman. So Montana's going to Bozeman. The game shoots out to a 20-3 lead by Montana State. 20-3 in the first half. At the end of the first half, Montana scores 2 touchdowns to make it, it was 20-16. All right. They missed one of the extra points. They missed it. I think it got blocked, actually. 20-16. And so you're thinking, here we go. It's going to be a great game. Start of the third quarter, Montana gets the ball back. They go score. So they take the lead 23-20. You're thinking, man, Montana's about to take over the game. And they did not. The final score was 48-23. Montana did not score another point after that. They turned the ball over multiple times. Montana State was on bath salts. They were rolling in the second half. After Montana scored that touchdown, I think Montana State had a pick 6. They scooped the fumble up, scored. Maybe they did, but it got called back. Anyway, ended up dominating the second half of the game. Now, so you got Montana State going to Nashville. That's January 5th. That's on a Monday for the national championship game. The other game, Illinois State's playing Villanova. So Illinois State had to go to Villanova. Villanova's hosting this game, thinking they're not going to host a game after their first game they played in the playoffs. Villanova won like 11 or 12 games straight. You lost their first two and were on a win streak. Remember when I was talking about the Illinois State UC Davis game and I said Illinois State dominated the game? That's what happened in this game. Up front, front seven on the ground, Illinois State was dominating the game. Douglas Sockowicz is the receiver there at Illinois State. Dominant. They're throwing the ball up to him. He's going up catching it for touchdowns. The final score there was 30-14. It was 30-6 in the fourth quarter. Villanova scores a late touchdown to make it 30-14, and they get the 2-point conversion. And so it looked closer than it was, but Illinois State dominated. The Missouri Valley team, one of the last teams to get in, had gotten on a run. They played every game on the road. They were a road team every week for 4 weeks straight. Now they're going to Nashville to play Montana State in the national championship game. Crazy story. And like I said, we will preview these games as we get to it later in the week, this national championship game. So there's your D3, your D2, and your FCS. That's what happened this weekend. Okay, some great football. And now we're going to talk through a little bit of the FBS stuff here. So we're going to talk about some of the bowl games because we haven't talked through them. When we were recording at the end of last week on the Thursday, Missouri State and Arkansas State were playing each other. Arkansas State was dominating the game. This is the Xbox Bowl. Dominating the game. Missouri State ends up coming back and making it a 34-28 game. And they ended up losing, but Arkansas State won the game 34-28. Here's something I got to say to the bowl, whoever the bowl people are. This is for us on the East Coast. This is for everybody. Especially probably Eastern and Central Time people. Stop starting bowl games 9 o'clock Eastern. Please. Stop. We got stuff to do during the weeks. And I want to watch the whole game, and it's tough for me to stay up. I'm not a young whippersnapper like I used to be. I can't stay up all night and then go to work the next day and be fine. I'm hurting when I do it. Now, I'm stay up as long as I can to watch these games. But it just gets tougher and tougher. Start the games earlier. Why would you start it at 9? I know there's probably some kind of scheduling conflict. Some other sport or something else has got a game going. Start the games earlier. I'd rather you start the game at 5 than start the game at 9. Make me rush home from work to get there and watch it. Right? Please. That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Start them a little bit earlier. Please. Please. Thank you. Let's go to Friday. And I got to start off with one that really hurts me in the heart. I mean, it hurts me so bad, man. It hurts me. So I'm at the office. And there was a bowl game that started at 11 a.m. Eastern time, right? You see this right here? That's who was playing. The Kennesaw State Owls were playing the Western Michigan, I believe it was the Broncos. Yeah, Broncos. In Myrtle Beach. And 11 a.m. kickoff. And I believe what happened is the Kennesaw State Owls football team, who's been very good this season, finished the season pretty strong. I believe the Kennesaw State Owls went to Myrtle Beach and hung out on the beach for the whole week they were there. You take that however you want. And they probably didn't do that, but they played like it. I haven't seen them play that bad all year. They played Wake Forest week 1. They played Indiana week 2. They didn't play this bad. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if some guys are planning on leaving. I have no clue. But they looked very bad. I will just say this. It wasn't even a minute and a half into the game. It was 14-0. It was 28-0 at the end of the first quarter. And it was 41-0 into the fourth quarter. And Kennesaw State scores in the fourth quarter, and then they proceed to miss the extra point. So now Western Michigan missed an extra point too. So there was the wind was blowing hard, I think, but still, man, it was just not real good. Western Michigan's first play from scrimmage, touchdown. A run play, touchdown. I'm watching the game, and I shouldn't say every time, the vast majority of the time Western Michigan handed the ball off, there were lanes that you could run through the size of this room I'm in. and there was nobody even close. The guy's not getting touched till after he's got the first down. He is converting a first down and then getting touched. That's on first down. First and 10. First down marker's 10 yards away. And he's not getting touched till about 12. So, I don't know. Listen, first ball game Kennesaw State's ever been to. I don't know what happened. I have no clue, okay? But it hurt me. I was not wanting that. I was not expecting that to happen. Oh, yeah, I was not. But great for Western Michigan. I mean, they dominated the game. And so not only Western Michigan goes and scores first play from scrimmage, they had a great kickoff return to about the 40. First play, touchdown. Kennesaw State gets the ball. They actually convert a first down or two. Strip sack, scoop and score. There's not even a minute and a half that's been played in the game. Kennesaw State 3 and out. Western Michigan drives right down 21 zip. 3 and out, 28 zip. And you're thinking, spent too much time on the beach. Anyway, that's the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We're going to move on to the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. That's Memphis playing NC State. Memphis has had some turnover. Ryan Silverfield's gone. Charles Huff is coming in to coach from Southern Miss. He obviously was not there for the bowl game. So there's probably some more staffers leaving. The quarterback A.J. Hill from Memphis is getting in the portal. So anyway, the game was a blowout, 31-7. And let's see, NC State won 31-7. It was 31-7 at half. It was 31-7 at half, and nobody scored in the second half. So, it was pretty much a blowout. And no, it was a blowout. It was not close at all. And I kind of expected that. NC State, I knew C.J. Bailey was going to be still playing in the game. They don't have any coaching turnover, although there were some rumblings in North Carolina. I lived there, so I could hear some of them from some fans who really love some Wolfpack. So, Dave Doran's not going anywhere. And because they beat Georgia Tech, they beat Virginia, two of the best teams in ACC. So they won enough to get in the bowl game, and they hammered them in the bowl game. So, you know what? I like C.J. Bailey, their quarterback. And their running back's freaking beast. I'd love to see them kind of take the next steps and be good in ACC next year. That'd be awesome. All right, so then we go to the playoff game. Alabama goes to Norman, Oklahoma. They got College Game Day there. You know the deal. I picked Oklahoma to win this game. And here's the reason why. Because what I'd seen from Alabama the couple games before, goodness gracious, son, bad, not very good. Especially Georgia. I know Georgia, they're probably my pick to win a national championship. They are my pick to win a national championship. But still, to look that bad. And then when they played Auburn the weekend before, they did not look very good. So I'm thinking, man, Oklahoma, they don't do a whole lot on offense, but they're going to hold Alabama's offense because their offenses looked not good. And then the first half, quarter and half of the second quarter, I'm thinking I was exactly right. It's 17-0. Oklahoma's winning the game. So Oklahoma's winning 17-0. I'm basically thinking, well, you know what? Sucks for Alabama, but I picked Oklahoma. It's going to be great. Alabama drives down in the middle of the second quarter and goes and scores a touchdown. Go for it on fourth down. They're inside the 5 or the 7 or something, and they're inside the 10. They throw a ball to old Lonnie Brooks, I believe his name is, a freshman. He's from New Jersey. And he shows great second effort, and he dives in the end zone, breaks a couple tackles, and get in there. And after that play, the game completely flipped. I shouldn't say I have never, but I've seen a lot of games. Okay, not more than anybody else. I've seen a lot of football games in my day. I've played in a lot of football games in my day. I don't know how many games I've ever seen like that where they just completely flip momentum and the game completely flips and the team who was losing that bad comes back and wins. It doesn't happen often. What you do see often is the momentum flips, the team who's losing big comes back and makes it close, but the team who's in the lead does something in the end to make it where they still win the game. But this game flipped and Alabama took off and they took control of the game. He scored 34 straight points, I think. I think. Anyway, they scored the touchdown. They hold Oklahoma. They get the ball back, or maybe hold Oklahoma, get the ball back, kick a field goal. So 17-10. Oklahoma's got the ball. There's not much time left in the first half. Mateer throws a pick right to I think it's Xavier Brown, number 2 there for Alabama. Throws it right to him. It was like a miscommunication with the receiver. But still, even if the receiver were there, Xavier Brown is standing. He just caught it. He didn't have to run for it nothing right there. And he scores and a pick 6 and ties the game up 17-all. And then that's when you really know some stuff might happen. You get into the second half. Oklahoma still can't score. Bama scores 24-17. Oklahoma still can't really do anything. Bama kicks field goal. They score again. And then Oklahoma finally scores to make it the 10-point game. And then Oklahoma's trying to go and kick a field goal. They can't do it. They missed. And I missed this earlier. Oklahoma's punter and kicker are like one of the top punters, one of the top kickers in the country. They've been great all year. The kicker hadn't missed a field goal since the first game of the year. And then he missed 3 in this game, I think. The punter. All right, so whether you're a punter out there or whether you have watched warm-ups or you watched the punters on the sidelines or you have coached or you've been out there and you've seen it, the punters do this drill where they take the ball and they work on their drops because they want to have a good drop and it helps you get a better punt off. This guy does this. It's like he's just doing the drill and he forgets he's in an actual play and he just drops the ball and then tries to pick it back up and kicks it right into old Alabama's number 96. And so Alabama blocked the punt. And they get on it. I think that's what led to the field goal to make it 17-10. And then they pick the ball off, when Oklahoma gets the ball back. And so, and Alabama just takes over and they win the game. The field goal kicker can't make a field goal. What Oklahoma trying to do, there's less than 2 minutes left. They try to go kick a field goal to make it a 7-point game and then onside kick it. And then go score a touchdown to tie it. Or go for 2 and win it. I don't know what they were going to do. But he missed a field goal. Missed like a 30 or maybe right at 40 yards. Missed it. Hadn't done it all year except for the first game. And then Alabama goes 3 and out. Oklahoma timeout. They get the ball back. They get the ball in field goal range. Right when they get in field goal range, it's 51-yarder. They say we're going to kick a field goal because we got to go get points. He kicks it short. I don't know what happened to Oklahoma. They self-destructed. They couldn't do anything. Defense couldn't hold Alabama as well. Now Alabama's offense really took off and did a good job there. After the first quarter and a half of the game, they did a great job. Because that first quarter and a half, buddy, I thought, man, this is going to get ugly. But it didn't. You got to give Alabama credit. Ty Simpson settled in, and some people really stepped up and played good football. Daniel Hill, the running back there at Alabama. I like Jim Miller. Daniel Hill played a better game. Daniel Hill's legs are as big as my freaking torso, son. That dude's got tree trunks for legs. So he's fun to watch and he's hard to tackle. He's from over there in Meridian, Mississippi, allegedly. So Alabama moves on. They're going to play Indiana. Now we go to Saturday, Miami versus Texas A&M, the game everybody was really looking forward to, especially on Saturday. Miami and Texas A&M are scoring almost 40 points a game each. It's like 36 or 37 each. The final score was 10-3. Miami wins 10-3. The score was 0-0 at half. And it was a field goal. by, I believe, maybe Miami kicked field goal first, and then Texas A&M kicked one shortly after, and then they're trying to go back and forth, trying to go and win the game and score the last points. So it's 3-3. Malachi Tony catches a pass, gets the ball stripped, and they're around midfield, and he's distraught, he's pissed, and which anybody would be. Texas A&M, I believe, tried to kick a field goal, maybe couldn't do it, missed it. Something. Miami gets the ball back, kind of deep in their own territory, and they take the ball. They hand the ball off the running back. Oh crap, Spear. I can't remember his last name. Hand it off to him, and he takes it about 50 yards and gets him in across the 50. And so then Miami goes, and Malachi Tony gets to kind of avenge his fumble. They give it to him on the old jet sweep, but it's a toss, so it's like a pass, and he goes and he scores. And so then Texas A&M gets the ball back. They're driving right down the field. They get into the red zone. Marcel Reed throws the old red zone interception in the end zone. And the game's over. So huge for Miami. Kind of silenced some of the people maybe about the Notre Dame stuff. Probably not. People are just idiots anyway. The Alabama stuff, apparently during the game Alabama's playing, people are saying, well, yeah, Alabama shouldn't be in it, and all of a sudden Alabama comes back and wins. And Miami wins. So, the thing that Notre Dame fans need to be pissed about would be the system making it where G5 teams are guaranteed to get in. That's what they need to be upset about, not Miami, because you lost to Miami, and not to Alabama because your schedule and your strength of record or whatever strength of schedule is not even close to that. And you can't argue it. The two good teams you played, you lost to them, and it is what it is, right? I mean, it's not I'm not trying to bash anybody. It just is what it is. So now we get to the other two games of Saturday. The two controversial games of Saturday, not because of the games, but because of who's playing in the games. Tulane and Ole Miss, James Madison and Oregon. If you think the game was going to get out of hand, you were right. Because Ole Miss won 41-10, Oregon won 51-34. Oregon was up 34-3 in the first half, I think. I think it was 34-3 or something along those 31-3 in the first half. On James Madison. And Oregon obviously put in some other people in the second half, and that's what allowed James Madison to score some points in the second half. And it is what it is, 51-34. Now, I'm not going to talk much about the game. It went exactly like you would think. I mean, both Ole Miss and Oregon scored within a minute of them getting the ball in the first drives. I mean, drove right down the field. So, man, I will tell you this. It was, the games were not pretty, and they weren't super fun to watch. I mean, people kind of had an idea what was going to happen, and it happened. So, the crappy part is that probably, I shouldn't say crappy, but for the G5 it could be crappy, is they're probably, the CFP committee meets in January, like the 20th or something. They're going to meet, they're going to say, well, listen, first of all, fans are not happy about it. And that's the money. They're going to listen. Fans are not happy about these teams getting in there because they don't have any chance to win, right? I guess. Okay. So what they're going to do is they're going to say, hey, we're not going to give the automatic bid to the G5. Now, I've heard this a few times. I've said it once or twice. I love the idea of P4 playoff, G6 playoff, because it'll be a Pac-12. It'll be 6 conferences next year. I think that'd be a great idea. P4 playoff, G6 playoff. Split them up. Now, but here's the question that I would like to ask people is who say that G5 should be in the CFP. And listen, I don't want to kick the G5 out. I love the G5. What's what I want to ask, though? There are times, maybe every time, I know there are times where the P4 schools, especially the P2, SEC Big Ten, will play some G5 teams and they will pay them to play them. And so then you're telling me that then at the end of the year, the best team that a team would pay to play is now going to get to go play against these teams in the playoff and knock another team out. It doesn't make sense. And that's just one small reason why the rosters aren't going to be as good. Used to, they could get that good because the transfer portal wasn't absolutely bonkers like it is now, that's a whole nother issue. You can't build talent on these rosters because these kids, when they do a good job at a G5 school, they're getting plucked by a P4 school. It happens immediately, and you know it just as well as I do. So it's not like you're going to get these. Everybody goes back to Boise State 2007, beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. UCF in 2017. You could even go, Cincinnati in what year was that? They made the 14 playoff. That was basically pretty much right before the transfer portal just went off the rails. So, and you see what happened when they got to the 14 playoff still, okay? And UCF claimed their own national championship, which is another thing that is just unbelievable. But anyway, split them. It just makes too much sense to me not to do it. And it's probably not going to happen, but I think it needs to happen. So, anyway, that's your half week, your weekend of football that just transpired. Now, it was a great weekend of football. It was awesome. Some great games. The CFP playoff games, great. FCS playoff games, great. National championship game, D2, D3 playoff games, phenomenal. Bowl games, great. Even though there's a couple blowouts, I love them. I still love them. There's a bowl game on Monday night. Washington State at Utah State. No, it was not at Utah State, but it is Washington State versus Utah State. They're playing in Idaho, so they're not having to go very far. They're already over in that region. They're not going very far. That's awesome for them. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl, they're playing at Boise State on the blue turf. Utah State just played them, I believe. I don't know if it was at home or away, but they just played them. So they're getting to play at that stadium. If it was what they played last time, they're used to it. Could bode well for Utah State. We got a little family bowl thing going on, and I'm tied for first with about 4 people. I started pretty dang slow. I'm just listen, scratch and you claw and you make your way, climb your way back up to the top. That's all you can do, right? I mean, you can't lay down and quit, Notre Dame. You can't do it. Scratch, claw, keep going to the top, all right? So that's today. Today's Monday, December 22nd. If you're listening to this on Tuesday, there are 3 bowl games on Tuesday, December 23rd. Toledo plays Louisville in the Bush's Boca Raton Bowl. That would be at 1 p.m. I'm in Central Time now, mind you. 2 p.m. Eastern. Western Kentucky plays Southern Miss in the New Orleans Bowl. That'll be a good one, I think. That's at 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. And then you've got UNLV playing Ohio at 8 p.m. Here's another one. 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. What am I supposed to do? Stay up all night? Unbelievable. Anyway, that's on Tuesday night. And then you got the old Christmas Eve Bowl. You know which one it is. The Hawaii Bowl. The Sheraton Hawaii Bowl. And you know it's going to be Cal playing Hawaii. And I'm honestly excited to watch that one. That's going to be a great one. That's at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And I'm freaking lit. So, you know we've got FBS bowl games coming up almost every day from now on. Not Christmas Day, not Sunday, but all the other days up until about January 2nd, you're going to get it. Speaking of, January 2nd, just to give you a little bit of an idea. Okay. On January 2nd, I'm a North Carolinian living there now. There's a bowl game in Charlotte called the Duke's Mayo Bowl. Wake Forest playing Mississippi State. Yep. I'm going to do my best to be in attendance at that one. And I'm going to do my best to maybe get a little exclusive access. Well, I mean, who knows? I don't know what's going to happen here. Well, I'm at least going to do my best to be there. So, I'm excited about that, man. I'm fired up. This is the bowl season. I just love it. We've already had Dalton go to the 68 Ventures Bowl in Mobile to watch the Blue Hens beat the Raging Cajuns in a phenomenal game. The Birmingham Bowl, the J-Lab Birmingham Bowl is coming up. It's after Christmas, maybe the 28th or 29th. I can't remember exactly. The Griffmeister, Big G, is going to be trying to go to that one. So that's 2 bowl games we're going to try to make. That's Georgia Southern and App State. And then you've got the old Duke's Mayo Bowl in Charlotte that I'm going to do my best to make. And I'm really planning on it, honestly. So get your freaking butts ready for that. And I'm fired up. All right, I'm fired up. So anyway, we've got some great things coming up. We're going to have some things where we're going to throw some film up here. We're going to have some guest appearances coming up in the off season. We're going to have some great things going on Pad Level. So thank you for listening. If you have been a loyal subscriber and listener, if you know somebody who enjoys ball and they're not listening, tell them, get them on it. All right. We're on TikTok at Pad Level JM. We're on X at Pad Level JM. And we're obviously on Spotify and YouTube. So get on there and subscribe, like, follow, all the stuff, man. And we'll keep bringing you this content week after week after week. And I hope you enjoy it. If you're here, you obviously enjoy it a little bit. But if you know somebody else who would enjoy it, let them know. I'd love to have them. We would love to have them. Well, hey, comment. Tell us what we're doing good, bad. Give us some great stats going on in your area. Let's talk about it, okay? Thanks so much for being here. I hope you have a great Christmas. Hope you're with people you love. And remember the reason for the season, folks. Remember the reason for the season. All right? God bless you. I love you so much. Have a great holiday season. We'll be back shortly. See you later.